Hollywood's Blacklist. 30 stars who disappeared from fame Hollywood, where the lights are bright and fame is something everyone desires. But behind the glamour lies a harsh world where one wrong decision or controversial statement can change a career in a completely different direction. Many once sought-after stars are no longer seen on screen, and the reasons behind it sometimes surprise the public. Brendan Fraser was once one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. With his comedic charm and natural acting style, he shone through a series of blockbusters such as George of the Jungle, The Mummy, and Journey to the Center of the Earth. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, Fraser was an icon of the action-adventure genre, a familiar face loved by audiences worldwide. However, after his peak, his career suddenly slowed down. Brendan Fraser once shared in an interview that he had experienced a serious personal incident involving a powerful figure in the industry, along with health and family issues, which caused him to withdraw from the spotlight. During that time, Fraser almost disappeared from Hollywood, and many people thought he had been forgotten among a new generation of actors on the rise. However, Brendan Fraser's story does not end there. After years of silence, he returned strongly with his role in The Whale, 2022, an emotional role that won him an Oscar for Best Actor, marking one of the most impressive rebirths in Hollywood history. Today, Brendan Fraser is not only praised for his talent, but also for his resilience and kindness, having gone through difficult years, but still standing up and proving that sometimes Hollywood has happy endings for those who deserve it. Tippi Hedren was once considered the new muse of legendary director Alfred Hitchcock. She quickly became a star after her roles in The Birds, 1963, and Marnie, 1964, two classic films that brought Hedren to the A-list of Hollywood. With her elegant beauty and natural acting, she was expected to become one of the brightest stars of that period. However, behind the stage lights is a story full of twists and turns. In her memoirs and many interviews, Tippi Hedren said that her relationship with Hitchcock became tense when she refused to act in a way that she considered to be beyond professional boundaries. According to Hedren, the director reacted negatively and hindered her career opportunities afterward. After leaving her collaboration with Hitchcock, Tippi Hedren found that her big roles dwindled, and she had to move to smaller projects or supporting roles. Nevertheless, she continued to work in the film industry, building a lasting career and becoming respected as a symbol of strength and determination in the often pressured environment of Hollywood. Later, Tippi Hedren's story became one of the earliest examples of the difficulties faced by women in the film industry, and also an inspiration for later generations of actors to defend their voice and autonomy. Stacey Dash was one of the most promising faces of Hollywood in the 1990s. With her iconic role in Clueless, she quickly became a fashion and beauty icon and was expected to be the next big star of the American screen. However, after the halo, Dash's career took a completely different direction. In the 2010s, she frequently appeared on television channels with outspoken and controversial political statements, especially when her views went against the majority of Hollywood artists. This caused many producers and studios to quietly distance themselves from her. From a sought-after actress, Stacey Dash gradually disappeared from mainstream projects, and movie offers became rarer than ever. Although not officially banned, expressing her views publicly made her a symbol of the divide between art and politics in Hollywood. Today, Stacey Dash still appears in a number of independent shows and solo projects, but the luster of her Clueless days seems like a distant memory. Her story is a testament to the harsh realities of Hollywood, where one statement can be enough to change an entire career. Christopher Mintz-Plasse became a pop culture phenomenon thanks to his role as McLovin in Superbad, a clumsy but memorable character that made him a teen icon of the 2000s. His rise to fame came so quickly that many believed Mintz-Plasse would be Hollywood's next big thing. However, the huge success of Superbad turned out to be a double-edged sword. He was boxed in the image of a funny, naive guy, making producers hesitant to give him more serious leading roles. Despite participating in many other films such as Kick-Ass or Role Models, Mintz-Plasse still could not escape the shadow of McLovin, For many years, he almost disappeared from major projects, only appearing sporadically in supporting roles or voiceover roles. Although he was not banned by Hollywood, it was clear that he had gone through a long period of being pushed out of the spotlight. Today, Christopher Mintz-Plasse still works, but mostly in small projects, independent films, and voiceover roles. His story reflects the harsh realities of Hollywood, where a role can bring fame, but can also limit a career. James Woods is one of Hollywood's most prolific actors, known for his sharp transformations and deep acting style. He has received 2 Oscar nominations for his roles in Salvador and Ghosts of Mississippi, and has made a strong impression in films such as Casino and Videodrome. For decades, Woods has been considered one of the most reliable faces in American cinema, often appearing in complex roles that are both intelligent and full of edges. However, in recent years, James Woods has appeared less on screen. He said the reason was due to his outspoken political views, which he said made some studios hesitant to cooperate with him. Although there has been no official statement from Hollywood about banning the actor, Woods confirmed that movie offers have decreased, and he has almost withdrawn from major film projects. James Woods now spends more time on his personal life and is mostly seen through social media posts. His story shows a different side of Hollywood, where being outspoken can sometimes cost a star, but also stands as a symbol of daring to stand firm in an ever-changing industry. Megan Fox was one of Hollywood's most prominent sex symbols in the late 2000s. She exploded in fame with her role as Michaela Baines in the blockbuster Transformers series, becoming the face of a generation of young stars, both sexy and charismatic on screen. In a short time, Megan Fox appeared everywhere, from red carpets, magazines to global advertising campaigns. However, after the release of Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, her relationship with director Michael Bay became tense. In an interview, Megan Fox used frank words to describe her experience working on set, which caused a big controversy in the media. Not long after, she was removed from the sequel of the series, and her career seemed to stagnate. Some industry sources said that her difficult-to-cooperate image made studios hesitant to invite her to participate in big projects. Since then, Megan Fox has gradually retreated from Hollywood blockbusters, turning to independent films and smaller budget projects. However, Megan Fox has never completely disappeared. She has made impressive comebacks with films like Jennifer's Body, Till Death in TV projects, and has also attracted attention by appearing in high-profile fashion campaigns. Her image today is more mature and confident, as proof that even when misunderstood or misjudged, a star can still reshape her own path with courage and determination. Armie Hammer was once considered the classic male god of Hollywood, handsome, stylish, and possessing a rare aristocratic temperament. He rose to fame through films such as The Social Network and especially Call Me by Your Name, a role that earned him numerous award nominations and opened the door to a series of major projects. However, in 2021, that shining image quickly collapsed. Armie Hammer faced allegations of inappropriate behavior and controversial messages circulating online, attracting the attention of the public and the media. When the incident became noisy, film studios simultaneously canceled contracts or removed him from ongoing projects, causing Armie's career to almost freeze in a short time. From a star expected to become the leading face of the new generation, Armie Hammer was placed on the fringes of Hollywood, and since then, he has almost disappeared from the big screen. Hammer now lives a private life, away from the cameras. While there has been no official announcement of a comeback, his story is still considered one of the most remarkable falls in modern Hollywood, where fame and infamy can change in the blink of an eye. Tobey Maguire, a name that has been associated with the childhood of millions of audiences around the world. He became an icon when he transformed into Spider-Man in the Spider-Man trilogy in the early 2000s, directed by Sam Raimi. With his genuine, rustic, and emotional acting, Tobey Maguire turned Peter Parker into one of the most beloved superheroes of all time, and at the same time brought him to the rank of A-list Hollywood star. However, after that resounding success, Tobey's career gradually slowed down. In the following years, he only participated in a few projects such as The Great Gatsby or Brothers, then gradually withdrew from the spotlight. Many sources said that Toby wanted to spend time with his family and stay away from the glamorous life of Hollywood. However, some opinions in the industry said that his closed personality and overly cautious choice of projects have caused him to be gradually forgotten in the flow of the film industry. Despite not being banned or boycotted, Tobey Maguire has rarely appeared on the big screen. Instead, he has turned to film production and behind-the-scenes investment, only occasionally appearing in small projects or independent films. This has made him one of Hollywood's most hidden stars, someone who was once praised by the world, but now chooses a simple life, away from the noise of fame. However, Tobey made a spectacular comeback in 2021 in Spider-Man: No Way Home, when he appeared on screen with two other generations of Spider-Men, Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland. That moment was not only a gift for fans, but also a reminder that, even though he has left the spotlight, Tobey Maguire is still an indispensable part of the superhero cinema legacy. Mel Gibson was once one of the most powerful names in Hollywood. With his strong appearance and energetic acting style, he made his mark through classic films such as Lethal Weapon, Mad Max, and especially Braveheart, the film that brought him two prestigious Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director. At his peak, Gibson was considered the most talented action star and director in the world of cinema. However, his career took a different direction after a series of personal scandals and controversial statements. Some of Gibson's words in public situations were considered disrespectful and discriminatory, causing him to face a strong wave of criticism from the public. As a result, many studios and colleagues gradually kept their distance, and he was almost removed from major projects for many years. However, Mel Gibson did not completely disappear from Hollywood. After a period of silence, he returned to directing and made a splash with Hacksaw Ridge, a critically acclaimed film that helped him reassert his talent in the film industry. Mel Gibson's story is a typical example of how in Hollywood, a mistake or an uncontrolled word can shake a career, but at the same time, it proves that talent and effort can open up a second chance if one dares to face and change. Taylor Lautner was once a name that made the world crazy in the 2000s. With the role of werewolf Jacob Black in the Twilight series, he quickly became a teen sex symbol and a heavyweight competitor in the famous love triangle with Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. In his heyday, Lautner was not only a movie star, but also an advertising face, an honored guest at a series of major Hollywood events. However, after Twilight ended, Taylor's career faced many challenges. The films he participated in, such as Abduction or Tracers, did not meet revenue expectations, making the image of action male god that Hollywood wanted to build for him not really successful. Part of the reason is said to be because he was closely associated with the image of Jacob, making directors hesitant to choose him for other roles. In addition, Taylor Lautner once shared that he wanted to find balance in life away from the pressure of fame and the noise of the media. He started choosing smaller projects, appearing in some independent films and TV shows, while spending time with his family and personal interests. Today, although he is no longer at the peak of his fame as before, Taylor Lautner still maintains a loyal fan base and is remembered by many for his iconic role of a generation. His story is a reminder that the Hollywood spotlight can come very quickly, but maintaining it is a challenging journey. Mo'Nique wowed the world with her stellar performance in 2009's Precious, which earned her an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. From a stand-up comedian, Mo'Nique proved her deep and powerful acting skills, opening up opportunities to enter the ranks of Hollywood's A-list stars. But instead of a flourishing career, things seemed to slow down soon after that glory. Mo'Nique began to speak out about the inequality in treatment and pay among actors, especially women of color, in the entertainment industry. She also publicly said that her refusal to follow the unwritten rules of the industry had alienated her. According to Mo'Nique, powerful figures like Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry contributed to her being blacklisted in Hollywood, something neither of them later commented on in depth. Despite no official ban, her big roles gradually disappeared, and Mo'Nique was largely sidelined from major projects for years. However, she continued on her path, returning to stand-up comedy, independent projects, and steadfastly fighting for equality in the film industry. Monique's story is not only about the trade-offs in her career, but also the journey of a woman who dared to speak her truth, despite facing a system of power behind the flashy lights of Hollywood. Russell Brand was a phenomenon in the British American entertainment industry. With his bold, intelligent, and sometimes wild stand-up comedy style, he quickly became a sought-after star in Hollywood. Roles in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek, and Arthur helped Brand make his mark as a gentleman eccentric, both charming and unpredictable. But the spotlight did not last forever. In the following years, Russell Brand began to make many controversial statements and personal views, from politics, society, to the media and entertainment industry. Combined with personal scandals and a tense relationship with the press, his public image gradually became divided. As the wave of criticism increased, Hollywood studios began to distance themselves, and opportunities for Brand to play big roles gradually disappeared. While there was no official ban, the reality was that he was pushed out of the Hollywood mainstream, no longer appearing in blockbusters like before. Rather than withdrawing completely, Russell Brand turned to independent projects, talk shows, and personal podcasts, where he could freely express his views and create in his own way. Despite the controversy, Brand still maintained a loyal fan base, people who loved his frankness and difference in an entertainment world full of rules and standards. Amber Heard was once considered one of Hollywood's most promising rising stars. She started her career with supporting roles in small films, before gaining attention through work such as Pineapple Express and The Rum Diary, where she met actor Johnny Depp. From there, Amber Heard's career gradually took off, especially when she appeared in DC's blockbuster Aquaman, becoming one of the prominent female faces of the superhero film genre. However, that halo was quickly overshadowed by the noisy legal battle between her and Johnny Depp, one of the most closely followed lawsuits by the international media of the decade. The two sides continuously accused each other of abusive behavior during their marriage, which lasted for many years and many court sessions in both the UK and the US. Although the US court eventually ruled partly in favor of Johnny Depp, Amber Heard still claimed to be the victim and said she felt unfairly treated by the media. However, the fallout from the lawsuit was inevitable. Public opinion turned against her. Millions signed petitions to remove her from Aquaman 2, and major studios gradually stopped working with the actress. Despite no official ban from Hollywood, Amber Heard almost disappeared from the mainstream screen for a long time. She turned to a more private life, participating in a number of independent projects and social activities, and moved to Spain to avoid the media spotlight. Amber Heard's story is a testament to the harsh downside of fame in Hollywood, where just one scandal, true or false, can leave a rising star facing a career decline and an uncertain future. Richard Gere was once a Hollywood romantic icon, known for his elegant looks and sophisticated acting style. During the 1980s and 1990s, he became a familiar face to global audiences through classic films such as An Officer and a Gentleman, Pretty Woman, and Chicago. At his peak, Richard Gere was one of Hollywood's most powerful box office stars, always on the list of top sought-after actors. However, behind that brilliant career was a surprising turn. Richard Gere has long been an advocate for human rights and religious freedom, especially with a deep concern for Tibet and the Dalai Lama. He has repeatedly publicly criticized the Chinese government on human rights issues, including at international award ceremonies and interviews. These outspoken statements have made Gere a sensitive figure in the film industry, especially as the Chinese market has become a huge source of revenue for Hollywood studios. Many industry sources believe that major studios are gradually avoiding working with him to avoid affecting trade relations with China. From a familiar star of big romantic films, Richard Gere has gradually disappeared from blockbuster projects and turned to participating in independent, lower-budget films, where he can freely express his artistic views without pressure from the market. However, he has maintained a simple lifestyle, continued to work for humanitarian organizations, and maintained the image of an artist who lives true to his personal beliefs. Richard Gere's story reflects a different reality of Hollywood, where not only talent, but also personal views and political stances can deeply affect a star's career. Cuba Gooding Jr. was once one of Hollywood's brightest faces. With his iconic role in Jerry Maguire, he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor and quickly became a symbol of a successful black star in the film capital. Since then, Gooding Jr. has continued to appear in a series of outstanding films such as Men of Honor, Radio, and Pearl Harbor, affirming his talent and appeal on the big screen. He is considered a versatile actor, able to make the audience laugh, move, or stand up and applaud. However, in recent years, his career has taken a different direction when many allegations related to sexual assault were made public. The lawsuits and public reactions have seriously affected Gooding Jr.'s image, and many studios have also begun to distance themselves from him. Although there has been no official announcement about being banned, the reality shows that Cuba Gooding Jr. has all but disappeared from Hollywood's big projects. Once one of the most beloved faces of the 1990s, he is now rarely seen in public, and his film career seems to have stalled. The story of Cuba Gooding Jr. is a reminder that in Hollywood, the spotlight can shine brightly, but it can also be extinguished in a single incident. Rob Schneider is one of Hollywood's most recognizable comedians, known for his witty, sometimes weird style in films such as Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, The Hot Chick, and a series of works produced by his close friend Adam Sandler. Thanks to his charming acting, Schneider was once considered the golden comedy of American comedy films in the late 1990s, early 2000s. However, as time passed, Schneider's career gradually changed. In real life, he began to express his personal views on politics and society, topics that are sensitive in the American entertainment industry. Some of his outspoken statements, along with controversial jokes, were said to be unpopular with many colleagues and producers in Hollywood. Since then, Schneider's opportunities for big roles have begun to narrow. He has been less involved in box office blockbusters, instead turning to independent projects, television series, and stand-up comedy. Although he has never been officially banned, Rob Schneider is considered one of Hollywood's left-behind names. Yet he continues to work tirelessly, maintaining a close relationship with his fans and maintaining his signature comedic style, something that has made him beloved for decades. Shia LaBeouf was once one of the most promising stars in Hollywood. He started his career at a young age on Disney Channel, standing out with his youthful energy and natural talent. His success quickly led him to the blockbuster Transformers series, making Shia one of the most expensive faces in Hollywood at that time. After that, he continued to make his mark in works such as Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Fury or Honey Boy, an autobiographical film in which he both wrote the script and acted. But behind the fame, Shia LaBeouf faced a series of personal and legal troubles. He was arrested many times for public disorder, drunk driving, and arguing with the police. In addition, during the period 2018 to 2020, Shia was also accused of mental and physical abuse by people who worked or had personal relationships with him. Although Shia has denied some of the allegations and expressed his desire to seek treatment, these incidents have caused his public image to rapidly collapse. As a result, many major film studios have terminated his contracts or removed him from projects, causing Shia to be almost frozen in the mainstream film industry. Some of the films he had previously signed were also canceled or replaced with actors. After a series of crises, Shia LaBeouf proactively distanced himself from Hollywood, focusing on independent art projects, participating in psychotherapy and recovery programs, and publicly apologizing to those affected by his actions. From a once sought-after star, Shia LaBeouf has become a warning mirror for Hollywood itself, where fame can take a person to the top, but can also cause them to lose everything after a series of mistakes. Jim Carrey is one of Hollywood's biggest comedy legends, who shaped a generation of audiences in the 1990s and 2000s. With his extraordinary expressive ability and energetic acting, he became a top star through a series of classic films such as Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask, Liar Liar, Bruce Almighty, and especially The Truman Show, a work that brought him a series of awards and recognition from critics. After more than 2 decades of shining, Jim Carrey began to withdraw from major Hollywood projects. In the 2010s, he turned to painting, art, and shared his personal views on politics, religion, and philosophy of life. Carrey has repeatedly publicly criticized the fakeness and greed in the entertainment industry, as well as expressed independent views on social issues. Those straightforward statements have caused him to encounter many mixed reactions. Some people support him because he dares to speak the truth, while a part of the film industry believes that Carrey has become difficult to cooperate with and unpredictable. Although there is no official ban, Jim Carrey is gradually being asked to take on leading roles in Hollywood blockbusters. He once shared in an interview that he has done enough and is no longer interested in fame. In recent years, Jim Carrey has spent most of his time painting, writing books, and participating in personal projects rather than chasing fame. His career is like a journey from the bright lights of Hollywood to a deep inner world, where he finds peace after many years at the top. Katherine Heigl was once Hollywood's queen of romantic comedies, with memorable roles in 27 Dresses and Knocked Up. She had a bright smile, charming demeanor, and was considered one of the brightest stars of the 2000s. But at the height of her fame, Heigl caused a stir in Hollywood when she publicly criticized some of the projects she participated in and spoke out about the unfair treatment of female actors. Those outspoken statements were quickly interpreted in a negative way, and Heigl began to earn a reputation as difficult to work with. The bad reputation spread quickly in the film industry, and soon leading roles gradually disappeared. No one officially announced it, but everyone understood. Katherine Heigl was quietly pushed out of Hollywood. Her career slowed down, and the name that once covered the box office charts now only appeared in small projects, far from the halo of her former glory. Still, Katherine Heigl stands her ground. A woman who speaks out, dares to confront, even when there is a price to pay for her candor. Rose McGowan was one of Hollywood's brightest faces in the late 1990s, rising to prominence with her roles in Scream and Charmed. With her rugged beauty, rebellious style, and captivating acting ability, she quickly became a symbol of the new wave of young actresses in Hollywood at that time. But at the height of her career, McGowan chose a path that few dared to take, speaking out against the most powerful force in Hollywood, producer Harvey Weinstein. She denounced the abuse and at the same time exposed a web of silence surrounding misconduct in the film industry. Her accusation became one of the first sparks to ignite the non-return Me Too movement, helping hundreds of other women bravely tell their stories. But from there, McGowan said she faced serious consequences. Studios cut her contracts, movie offers disappeared, and the media began to shun her. Once a potential A-list actress, Rose McGowan gradually disappeared from major projects, and her career almost frozen. However, instead of being silent, she continued to speak out, becoming one of the strongest voices for justice and women's rights. Today, McGowan is remembered not only as a talented actress, but also as a woman who dared to confront the power system of Hollywood, willing to sacrifice her fame to bring a voice to the forgotten. Will Smith, one of Hollywood's most versatile and beloved stars. He started his career as a rapper under the stage name The Fresh Prince, then broke into the acting field with the TV series The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the work that brought his name to millions of viewers around the world. From there, Smith quickly became a familiar face in American cinema with a series of blockbusters such as Independence Day, Men in Black, I Am Legend, and Bad Boys. Not only is he an action actor, he also proved his versatile acting ability when he won the Oscar for Best Actor for his role as a devoted father in King Richard, 2021. However, that seemingly perfect career took a different turn in 2022 when Will Smith suddenly stepped on stage and slapped comedian Chris Rock at the Oscars after Chris made a joke related to his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. The moment shocked the world and became one of the most controversial events in Oscar history. As a result, the Academy banned Will Smith from attending the awards ceremony for 10 years, and he himself voluntarily withdrew from the Academy. Although he was not completely banned, his clean reputation and the image of a model man that he had built up over decades were severely damaged. Some of Smith's major film projects, such as Bad Boys 4 and Bright 2, were delayed or postponed, putting his career in the most difficult period since his rise to fame. From a global symbol of success and positivity, Will Smith suddenly became a topic of discussion, and his story became a bitter reminder of the fragile line between fame and loss in the glamorous world of Hollywood. Kevin Spacey, one of the most talented and respected actors in Hollywood. Over the decades, he has built a solid career with a series of excellent roles and two prestigious Oscars for The Usual Suspects and American Beauty. Spacey is considered a symbol of sophisticated acting, someone who can perfectly transform into all types of characters, from positive to negative. Not only successful on the big screen, Kevin Spacey also made a strong impression in the hit Netflix TV series House of Cards. The role of the cold, calculating President Frank Underwood brought him to the pinnacle of fame, helping Spacey become one of the most powerful faces in Hollywood at that time. However, in 2017, his career fell into a serious crisis when many allegations related to inappropriate behavior from people who worked with him appeared. This information shocked the public and the film industry. Shortly after, Netflix terminated his contract with House of Cards, and many ongoing film projects were also suspended or canceled. Although Kevin Spacey has denied most of the allegations and affirmed his desire to clear his name, the damage to his reputation is immense. Many studios, directors, and producers gradually avoided working with this Oscar-winning actor. From an A-list star with a bright future, Spacey became a rare face that disappeared from the screen for many years. Recently, he has made efforts to return to cinema, participating in some independent projects, and appearing in the public. But the road to regaining his former position may still be very long. Kevin Spacey's story is a bitter reminder that in Hollywood, the halo can shine brightly, but can also be extinguished in just a moment. Isaiah Washington was once one of the most recognizable faces on American television. He rose to fame as Dr. Preston Burke on the hit series Grey's Anatomy, a role that earned him a cult following and marked a major breakthrough in his career. With his mature and powerful acting style, Washington quickly became a sought-after television star in Hollywood in the mid-2000s. However, in 2007, his career took a turn for the worse when allegations arose that he had used racist language during an argument with a co-star. The incident attracted a lot of media attention, and although Isaiah Washington later publicly apologized, the public storm did not subside. Shortly after, he left the main cast of Grey's Anatomy. The show was at the height of its success at the time. In later interviews, Washington said that the controversy had a profound impact on his career, making it difficult for him to find new roles in Hollywood. Despite this, he has continued to work in the industry, appearing in a number of independent films and small television series, while also pursuing his own social and artistic activism. Isaiah Washington's story is a prime example of how one moment of misstep or misunderstanding in the entertainment industry can change an entire career, and a reminder that in Hollywood, fame is both the most precious and the most fragile thing. Charlie Sheen was once one of the most powerful names in Hollywood. With the role of Charlie Harper in the hit sitcom 2.5 Men, he not only brought laughter to millions of viewers, but also became one of the highest-paid TV actors in the world. However, behind the spotlight, Sheen's life began to slide into the noisy years. Erratic behavior, controversial statements, and personal problems made his image in the media increasingly complicated. Finally, after a series of troubles, Charlie Sheen was fired from 2.5 Men, the film that brought his name to the peak of fame. Since then, Sheen's career has gone downhill. He almost disappeared from the main roles in big movies and TV, only appearing in small projects or self-producing. Still, Charlie Sheen retains a loyal fan base who remember him as a symbol of a golden age of American television. Both brilliant and turbulent,